Good morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you are watching this episode. I'm Gabe.
I'm Caleb.
And you guys are listening to another episode of the Positive Outlook podcast. Want to start with a huge shout out, huge thank you to everybody that's here with us, everybody that's watching these. It does mean a lot to us.
Seriously.
Yeah. So before we get started, I did want to jump in. We only have 11 slots available. For
11.
For what, you might ask? What do we have 11 slots available for?
The 1K Club.
Yeah, so we only have 11 spots open for you guys to jump in and subscribe before we hit 1,000 subscribers. We are so close. There's only one other group of people that is more, I don't want to say top tier, but more elite than this, and that is our Century Club group.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so the first 100. So this allows you to still be in the first 1,000. It gets kind of less important after this.
Yeah.
So, no, just kidding. But it's definitely awesome. We appreciate every single one of you guys that have helped us get to this point. And we're so excited to continue the content, and we're really excited to hit 4 digits.
Absolutely. It's something that we have looked forward to for a long time.
Yeah.
And we also promised a while ago that we would bring our website back.
Yeah.
Once we hit 1,000. So don't think that the website is not coming back. We are going to hit 1K.
Yep.
And then you guys will be able to order your own hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be awesome.
We'll get there.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. So now that's out of the way. If you're listening on one of our other platforms outside of YouTube, come say hi on YouTube. That's our main platform. You get to see us, you get to interact with us. And then if you are here on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe.
And while we're growing, might as well check out our Instagram and TikTok. You know, gotta plug them all in here. Just a lot of fun running the accounts and
definitely
uploading and all that kind of stuff. It's really a lot of fun. It's the most fun part is obviously the interaction though.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So you guys a lot of you have watched us from the beginning, and we are almost to that 1K, which again, if you have watched us from the beginning, you know that's a big deal for us. It's the beginning of a new era.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that. A new millennia. Yeah. So, all right, well, let's get into it. So today we are talking about what makes you fly, what makes your heart burn, what makes your soul happy, what do you chase in life, that I guess what we all call passion, and I guess how to kind of find that and just answer what makes you fly.
Yeah.
So, off the top of the head, do you know anything that makes you fly? What gives you wings other than Red Bull?
Technically speaking, planes.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But I think there's more than one. Obviously, I don't think for me there's a specific one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would literally say flying, which is kind of ironic. Just because it's supposed to be a figurative question.
Yeah.
But on top of that, obviously, just sitting down and recording, it's a lot of fun. We get to learn a lot. We are looking for more guests to be able to talk to and pick their brains on stuff. But sitting down and recording is great because, one, it's great to talk about this kind of stuff. It really is. And two, just knowing that it's making an impact in a good way.
Yeah.
Because one of my worst fears, and I think this is something we've both agreed on, is that if we make it big on YouTube, we don't want to be those guys that are just stupid, obnoxious.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, have this big fan base around these horrible things.
Right.
And so to make it big on a positive and good platform is so difficult, but it's so much more fulfilling. Yeah,
no, it definitely is. Like we used to talk about it all the time when we first started making content. We always joked around, like if we did like stupid pranks in public and stuff like that, it would be so much easier to blow up, or if we were just like stupid funny, something like that. But we decided, this is like a more honest way for us to kind of build ourselves up, and it is a lot more fulfilling. And so, yeah, I agree with you. This is kind of something that makes you fly.
And after a crazy busy week, one of the best things to do is just sit down and record.
Yeah. Yeah, really. It kind of, it helps you get stuff off your chest without getting stuff off your chest, because it's hard nowadays for, people like us to be able to talk to each other and get our feelings out. And so it's nice. This is like a non-direct way to do it.
And it forces us to keep our word on things. It forces us to analyze things.
Right.
Because although we've had some really close calls, we haven't missed a single week
of
uploading.
Yeah.
We've expanded our break
Yeah.
But we said we might. So.
Yeah.
But if we promised that we were going to drop an episode, we dropped it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, outside of that like little season finale break we had, no, we've hit every single week. Couple Tuesdays, blame it on holidays. But past that, yeah, every Monday. So, it's just something that when you find these things that do fill your soul and drive that passion, it's important to hang on to them. Yeah. I remember, so pretty much the same thing as being able to have an impact on somebody else's life, being able to make them smile. I remember, I don't know if I've ever shared this story on the podcast, but I remember, so we used to go to the Powerhouse all the time, and I used to always go in the morning, and then I ended up switching. Actually, I think it was the other way around. So you and I would always go at night, and then we switched to mornings. Yep. So we would go, and like everybody on night crew, we just like never saw anymore. But there was this one guy who I would always, I saw him, here and there, but he was, kind of an overweight guy, just in there working his butt off every day. And I went in there one night, it was after like 3 or 4 months, and I saw him, and I'm like, dude, you have lost so much weight. I'm like, that is awesome. And I was like, I don't know if a lot of people notice, but trust me, I notice. And like, I'm proud of you. Just something as simple as that. And he was just like, he starts to tear up, and he was like, thank you, man. Like, I've been working so hard. And he kind of starts to cry a little bit. And I was like, this is why we do what we do, is to be able to put that power into somebody else. Right. And so it's just definitely awesome.
100%. It's really just great. I love when people come up and I know I've shared the like theory or whatever it's called about when you do something for someone, you don't necessarily remember it,
right?
But they do. It makes an impact. That's one of the best things ever, because I've had people either through Instagram or in person bring something up from an episode I've forgotten about.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy thinking like that's the power of the social media that's around us now, is that's never going away.
Yeah.
That might be kind of frightening a little bit.
Yeah, or digital footprint. Yeah.
But it's kind of awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
Just knowing that countless people will be able to watch this and watch us grow. Yeah. And just listen to what we have to say. It's
super cool to see. So like you said, we don't really see the direct effects of it, but we know it could still be happening. On Apple Music, we have over 120,000 streams. And sometimes people will reach out, but probably not even 10% of those people we've ever heard anything from. Yeah, right. So it's crazy for us to see such a big number and know like that many people have been reached by what we've said. Which is definitely awesome. So I want to go into kind of how did you know when it was passion?
That's a good question.
There's a fly flying around in here.
Hopefully I can be heard, by the way. I noticed my mic wasn't really moving a whole lot, so that's kind of scary.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, so how do you know when it's passion? That's a really tough one. I think it's something that's really hard to explain. I think it's almost like a feeling of, I guess the best way to put it. Have you ever been down a roller coaster?
No.
Okay, that's not the best way.
I've been on a water slide before. Yeah.
Where you just have that rush of adrenaline and your heart's pumping, and it's almost like an addicting feeling, but in like a healthy way.
Right.
I think that would be the beginning of passion. I don't necessarily think passion has to be developed like that.
Right.
I think sometimes it takes a lot of time and work and energy to make something your passion. But if it's naturally that way, I think that's usually a strong sign.
That's a good point. And it's like something you don't have to like talk yourself into doing, or something that you don't dread doing. And if you do dread doing it, it's much easier to talk yourself into it because it's something you enjoy. Yeah. Or, excuse me. Like I know sometimes we just have long weeks and it's like, all right, well, here's an hour here we could fit in the podcast.
Right.
And while we're recording the podcast, it's hard to focus on it because we're thinking about what's coming next. And so it's like, well, if we didn't have it, it would be so much easier to just lay off here. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't mind. Exactly. I enjoy doing this.
And I think that's another thing too, to decide if it's your passion or not is, okay, do I see myself doing this the rest of my life? Could I do this? And this is all I do. Now, everything turns into work. Everything does.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like if you have a favorite hobby of playing guitar Okay. Could you do that? Imagine if someone came up to you and offered to pay you for your absolute favorite thing that you love doing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's going to turn into a grind if it turns into a job. That's
right.
just what a job is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's something that you love.
Yeah.
And I think that on the same side, though, I don't necessarily think you have to pursue passions as careers.
Right.
I think that's great if you do. I think that's amazing, outstanding, wonderful. Highly encourage it, but I don't think it's a necessity.
I think a lot of passions are hobbies, you know, so like painting or singing, dancing, stuff like that, where if you are able to make it a career, that is awesome, good for you, but it's not that common. You don't see it.
Exactly. And I think one thing about it not being common is simply because people see how few people make it in a certain field. And I think if that's your reason, get out of here.
Yeah.
That's not a valid reason. But I think that if, you know, I don't know, if you just don't want to turn it into a job, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Right.
I think you got to make sure that it's not for an excuse, because if it's something that if you fully put your attention into anything, you can do anything.
Yeah. And
so I think you got to keep that in mind. But at the same time, like realistically, if you're like, no, I don't want to do this, then there's no pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think it's so important to ask yourself what makes you fly every day. And if you're going through your day, you know, say you're through one day, a week, a month, a year, and you're like, you know, I really don't know what makes me fly. You have to try more things. You have to get out. You have to go out of your comfort zone. You have to try new things that might scare you, but they all might also excite you. You have to do all of these different things to find new borders and all of these things. So it's definitely an important question to ask yourself, because it can change the quality of your life drastically.
And I think you have to make sure you commit to it. If it's something that you think might be your passion, it might drive you, I think you can't just touch your toe in the water and be like, oh,
that wasn't it.
Yeah.
I'm going away.
No, you got to jump in.
Yeah.
You have to swim around for a little bit. And if it's not what you're looking for, then you can move on.
You know. Yeah.
But you cannot just kind of dabble in it and go, not quite.
I think Gary V, who is a little bit questionable what he says nowadays, but he's definitely a good businessman, and he preaches a lot about having gratitude and trying new things. And one thing he always talks about is he says like a minimum of 3 months to try something, which sounds like a lot when we're young, but think about when we're like 30, 35, still young. But in that instance, it's like, what is 3 months in the span of that? Yeah. And so he says, give yourself at least 3 months with something. If it doesn't work out for you, then you have the right to say this isn't it. Yep. But until the end of that 3 months, just keep trying.
Right. Because, you know, think about it in terms of a sports game, right? Say you're like interested in playing football, just the most basic sport I could think of. Okay. Say you go to a couple practices and maybe the team isn't selected yet, or maybe you hurt yourself the day before. Something happened where it's not exactly how it should be. Right. And it's not the typical, you know, what you would expect. Well, now you have this incorrect experience to judge what you think of it, you know? Yeah, right. And so if I broke my ankle and then went and did a full pad football practice, I'm not going to enjoy it. Right. But maybe once I'm healed up and I go and play for a week or two, I'll go, wow, this is actually really fun. Right. And so that's why you have to commit to it, because if there's something that's kind of interfering with your experience, you're not going to know whether it's a positive or negative.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there. So moral of the story, moral of the episode is find out what makes you fly. And you guys should comment what makes you fly. Let us know, because I'm curious what our viewers' passions are, because that'd be really cool to see what you guys have to say.
Yeah, because I mean, we range all over the place. Yeah. And not just in age, but in location. And so if age and location vary as much as they do on our analytics, I'm very curious either what you are doing, or if you're a student, what you're interested in, or what you want to do. I mean, there's a big gap. Yeah. So if you're listening right now, stop what you're doing, comment right now what makes you fly, and let us know. Let us know what your passions are, and maybe we'll go into them in next episode or something. Yeah. So shout some out.
That would be awesome.
We love shout outs.
Yeah. So going further, do you have anything else you want to talk about in today's episode?
Just find your happy place.
Yeah.
Find what makes you want to get up in the morning and grind. And
Grind City.
And don't stop until you find something.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will not regret it.
Yeah, definitely. Well said, Caleb. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great week.
And remember, we're almost to that 1K. We're running out of spots for our 1K club.
11 slots left. All right. See you guys.
Happy Monday.
Bye-bye.